Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Education Ministry assures unpaid teachers their salaries are coming. More than 1,000 teachers who have not been paid since September are being assured that they'll receive their salaries before the end of today. That assurance comes from the Ministry of Education. However, the ministry says some will see their salaries reflecting in their accounts in the next 24 hours due to the different financial institutions. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Maureen Dyer, explained that there was an integral glitch in the ministry's system.
The file for Region 7 was uploaded to the wrong category in the Accountant General portal. So we had to reconcile this morning. By 10:30 this morning, we detected the error and we discovered that it was sent to the fortnightly payment category rather than the monthly payment category, which is where it should have gone. They gave instructions to the DOJ now for the payment. What they assured us is that by 8 p.m. Tonight, the payments should start being reflected in the account, in the teacher's salary account. What it's going to do is to help us to cut down on the manual nature of things in the system. We're really excited about this. We're currently digitizing files and uploading personal data for all our employees in our schools. And once that is done and we have the system totally connected, then we anticipate greater ease of transfer of data from out in our regions, out in our rural schools and so on, right into the central ministry.
The teachers who weren't paid, remain anonymous, say they've barely been surviving. One of them said the situation is embarrassing as she lives heavily in debt. While other teachers did not hold back how they felt and the situations they are faced.
I've not been paid since September. I'm a teacher. This morning, court bailiff was at my door. I've not been able to fulfill my financial obligations. Last week, I got a letter from the NHT. My mortgage is overdue. I am not able to make ends meet in this situation. It is very disheartening, distressing, draining. This is madness. This is foolishness because some teachers are on the verge now of having their vehicles repossessed. They're in debt. I am in debt. I am in severe financial crisis right now. Over limit fees, accumulating interest, late fees. I keep borrowing money. I've been borrowing money for 2 months now, and I cannot continue like this.
There's no word, there's no message, there's absolutely nothing that indicates to us that there's going to be a delay. Nothing happened. But this is a cycle where I'm in debt, out of debt, in debt, out of debt, in debt. So I had to sacrifice my self-interest for the entire month of October this month to go to school with no lunch. At some point in school, I was so weak, tried to teach and I couldn't even teach. I have to sit down because of the hunger I'm feeling at the time.
Man shot to death during a reported gun battle with police in St. James. A man was shot to death Wednesday during a reported confrontation with the police in St. James. The man has not yet been identified. The police report that about 12:50 p.m., they were conducting a targeted operation in search of gunmen in Jungle District, Cambridge, when they accosted a group of armed men, some of them carrying rifles. This led to an exchange of gunfire. One suspect was killed and a firearm seized. The police say the other men escaped. Trelawney mechanic charged after chopping 2 people with machete. A 43-year-old mechanic from Trelawney was charged with wounding with intent and unlawful wounding following an incident on Wednesday, October 5, 2022. Charged is Junior Lewis, a resident of Jacksontown in the parish. Reports were that about 9 a.m., Lewis and the complainant had an argument when he used a machete to chop them. He then fled the scene and both complainants were taken to hospital where they were treated. A report was made to the police and Lewis was arrested and charged on Tuesday, October 25th after he was positively identified by one of the complainants. Prime Minister Andrew Holness commits to accelerating the pace of the St. Thomas leg of the ship. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he'll work to speed up road works being undertaken for the St. Thomas leg of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Holness says he understands the concern raised by residents of the parish.
I know that the people in St. Thomas are very understanding of the challenges that the government would face in trying to undertake some of the massive infrastructure work that we are doing. First, I want to say to you that I follow all the protests and demonstrations, all the quarrels and all the complaints that are placed on social media and in traditional media. And I have been driving around in St. Thomas now for more than 3 hours, and I can understand. In fact, I do understand why people would be upset and why fatigue would set in. I am of the view that the South Coast Road Improvement Project could move much faster than it is now. And therefore, I am going to be looking on the logistics and management arrangements to ensure that it moves much more quickly than it is presently doing. But one thing you can be certain of is that when it is complete, nobody can say that St. Thomas is a forgotten parish. You will have probably the best network of main roads going through your parish. You will have the most modern and advanced town centre, in addition to other investments that are to come, not just from the government, but from the private sector. There is a significant increase in interest in St. Thomas for tourism, particularly business process outsourcing. And you've always had this industry, the quarrying and mining, and people are now taking a serious look at how they can deploy capital in St. Thomas. So your parish is set for a boom to come in the next 5 years. You're going to see that unfold.
Call for termination guided by political considerations. Subcontractor response to MP Charles. One of the subcontractors working on sections of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, NF Barnes, is sitting back against calls from MP Dr. Michelle Charles that they be fired. Dr. Charles has expressed frustration with the slow pace of work on the project. However, NF Barnes Construction Limited Management Director, John Hines, told reporters that Dr. Charles' attempt to remove the company are seemingly guided by political considerations.
Madam Speaker, the Package 4 of the South Coastal Highway Improvement Project began 1 year before my election. The progress has been slow, and the maintenance and protection of the trafficway extremely uncomfortable and downright disrespectful to the people of St. Thomas Eastern. In my last presentation, I reminded my people that we are uncomfortably under construction and pleaded for their understanding while I negotiated with the contractors. Madam Speaker, I invited the member from St. Catherine Southwest to tour our roads, and he came. He evaluated the progress of the road and made his recommendations. Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister has met with the same contractor as well. Madam Speaker, my people have demonstrated, I have negotiated, and we are still left frustrated. After 3 years, Madam Speaker, I can no longer ask them to be patient. I want to inform this Honourable House that I will always stand with the people of St. Thomas Eastern. The people of St. Thomas Eastern have spoken, and I am here to deliver a message. Madam Speaker, we, the people of St. Thomas Eastern, are calling for an immediate removal of the subcontractors NF Barnes Construction and Equipment Company Limited and Kinetics Engineering Services. We call upon the chief contractors, China Harbour Engineering Company Limited, to completely take over the daily operations of the roadwork of Package 4 in St. Thomas Eastern.
Almost $1 billion spent in 7 years on improving fire brigades facilities, stated Mackenzie. Just under $900 million has been spent on building and improving facilities of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, JFB, across the island over the last 7 years. That's according to Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond Mackenzie. He says the government is aiming to improve the working conditions of the brigade.
We will do everything that is humanly possible to improve the working conditions, to provide the basic facilities so that you can undertake your responsibility. We have spent since 2016 close to $900 million building new and improving facilities for the Jamaica Fire Brigade right across this country. Expenditure that has never been spent before. The estimates for the renovation of the facilities in Balaclava was handed to me earlier today, and we are going to be providing the funds to commence the renovation so that Balaclava in St. Elizabeth will finally have the Jamaica Fire Brigade responding. The people in that section of St. Elizabeth, The closest fire station to Balaclava is Mandeville. The St. Thomas Municipal Corporation have already gone in and have provided the information, and I'm asking the permanent secretary to have our technical team going to the area to start to make arrangements. We will be providing 6 units to assist the families who got burnt out in St. Thomas.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification